Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference on the technologies that support the digital and energy transformation in the cloud. The hosts of today's conference are Google Cloud, Saule Technologies, and Columbus Energy. My name is Marta Bilonovic, and I'm PR manager for Columbus Energy. With me, I have Magdalena Dziewguć, Country Manager at Google Cloud, Artur Kupczunas, CEO and board member at Saule Technologies, and Agnieszka Rozwadowska, head of the board office at Columbus Energy. Today's conference is devoted to a strategic collaboration agreement between these three companies, Google Cloud, Saule, and Columbus. The agreement was signed just a few minutes ago. So now we would like to take this opportunity to discuss the details behind the agreement. According to the agreement, these companies have obliged and committed themselves to be creating new products based on perovskite cells or with the use of perovskite cells. They also committed themselves to make sure that these products will be also cloud-based and will help manage distributed energy sources. So now my first question goes to Magdalena of Google Cloud. Why has your company decided to enter into this relationship with Saule? You started last year, so tell us why, how come you started working with Saule and Columbus. Thank you for having us here. And well, let me start by saying that I represent Google Cloud Poland.
Google Cloud Poland, myślę o naszej roli nie tylko w kontekście tego, jak dużą globalną organizacją jest Google czy Google Cloud, ale o tym, że my tu w Polsce, jako ludzie pracujący w tej organizacji, chcemy wziąć odpowiedzialność za sukces polskich inicjatyw. I wyszliśmy przed chwilą z naprawdę wzruszającego wystąpienia profesora Harariego, który poruszył ten wątek. Powiedział, że we współczesnym świecie, zwłaszcza świecie kryzysów, z którymi teraz mamy do czynienia, niezwykle ważne jest to, żeby łączyć nacjonalizm i globalizm w jedno. I myśleć o tym, jak odnieść sukces lokalny we współpracy i w ścisłym porozumieniu z globalnymi partnerami. I patrząc na Saule, która jest spółką zbudowaną wokół jednego z najciekawszych wynalazków polskiej nauki ostatnich lat, wokół wybitnego, globalnie docenionego dzieła Olgi Malinkiewicz, myślę, że mamy tutaj wszyscy w tym szansę, aby jej wynalazek stał się technologią, akceleratorem transformacji energetycznej, nie tylko tutaj w Polsce, ale na całym świecie. I nie ma transformacji energetycznej bez dużego zaangażowania danych.
So we're talking about large data sets, and they can be processed in real time at low cost. So combining Olga and her invention with our platform is exactly what we need to create like a stepping stone for Saule global success. So at my company, at Google Cloud Poland, I see my work as making sure that Saule and Olga's invention, that they will be able to make a difference, change the world together, make it more green, and of course, make the energy sector more green. Thank you so much for this. And now over to Artur. Your relation with Google started already in November last year. You signed your letter of intent between your company and Google Cloud. So what has been happening since then? What have you managed to implement? Let me start by talking about my company and what's been happening with us. It's a tech company. A lot has been going on. So for the last 5 years, for the last 6 years, it's been like a light year. And over time, we have managed to develop a lot of solutions right now at lab level, because this is how we started. We started as a laboratory. Now we are right now approaching the moment of initial implementations. Our laboratory is actually the place where the greatest value is being generated. But we have done so much. We have taken many new steps that will allow us to implement our solutions in many, let's say, unexpected areas. One of these areas is Internet of Things, IoT. The market is growing really very dynamically. We're also about to finalize our IPO. We're going to be listed on the New Connect stock exchange. And we are now thinking about building, or actually we're nearly ready to increase our manufacturing capacity. So we're thinking of building new plants, especially that we see demand growing, including demand in the area of IoT. At first, we didn't even consider IoT as our target market, but right now it seems like it's something very appealing for us. And later on, which is very important from the point of view of photovoltaics, we're going to go into utility, we're going to serve the entire building attached photovoltaics market, and we're going to also go into building integrated photovoltaics, so buildings that are already designed with PV in mind. Then, of course, we're going to go into space, and we're going to do a lot of things that I could sit here and list forever. The technology that we're right now developing and working on is more of a platform, is more of a space where photovoltaics can be used, especially in places that are unexpected or traditionally haven't been considered. So this is where we add the most value. But the first product that will be implemented, and this is actually my direct answer to your question, is the price label market for the retail sector. We call it PESL, perovskite electronic shelf label technology. So these price labels will have perovskite modules that are very efficient and that support artificial and distributed light, which helps data flow be processed very dynamically. This helps retailers greatly to compete with the e-commerce sector. And on the other hand, there is a new directive, Omnibus. It's going to actually be implemented in May this year. And it puts a lot of information obligations on retailers. For example, in case if prices change or new deals are being introduced or new discounts. Right. So these labels, PESL labels, have already been implemented. Has it been communicated? I think Saule has communicated it. So which retailers already have these labels? We started at a lab, then we integrated all the modules that were developed in the lab, then it went into production, and then it became a ready-made solution, namely the PESL labels. Of course, we had to do a lot of other things. Like, for example, we had to manage a whole plate, a special e-ink display. We had to, of course, make sure that data is being exchanged with the cloud. Cybersecurity components had to be put in place, of course, it's very important. So thanks to Google and thanks to this partnership, we have access to amazing capabilities and to amazing technologies that have already been stabilized. And this helps us make this product easy to implement across different retailers. The label itself, it also brings value to supermarkets and other retailers. But the market goes beyond retailers, stores, and supermarkets, because these labels can also generate value in many other unexpected places like museums, hotels, anywhere where organizations or institutions change content that they display dynamically depending on what's going on at any given moment. Right. So let us maybe look into the future and let us refer to the contract, to the agreement that you've just signed. Can you tell us about possible new projects that are going to be based on perovskite cells in the future? Well, we are all the time working on new projects and new products. We've already implemented our solutions at the mobile operators network called Play. We're also working with other companies. We are implementing our solutions at one of the largest retailers in Poland. It's one of the largest retail chains. And we are working on new products within the PESL line. So new sizes, new capabilities, new ways to implement our technology with retailers. Because of course, retailers are a huge market for us. It's growing at the level of 20–25% year on year. By 2025, it's supposed to be worth $7 billion. And it's just a small section of a larger market called IoT, Internet of Things, that will have reached $1 trillion by 2025, 2030, depending on which reports you're looking at. So Internet of Things will have had 500 billion devices by 2025, according to Cisco. So think about 500 billion of active devices. So we would have to implement 60 to 70 billion every single year of devices. Think about it compared to the mobile phone market, 1.5 to 2 billion. So we're talking about 30 times more devices when we talk about IoT. And these devices collect all sorts of data: temperature, humidity, vibrations, movement, all sorts of data, all sorts of information that then go into the cloud, that go through cloud solutions, and then we can integrate this data and bring added value for every single user or a company who may be an aggregator, and then maybe bringing value to individual users. So it's a huge market and it's a huge opportunity for us. When we look at, for example, batteries, over the last 10 years, what devices were working with batteries? Maybe a clock on your wall or maybe your TV remote. But for example, when you talk about smart homes, it's a huge investment, because if you want to have a smart home, you have to open your walls, you have to lay cables, you have to do a lot of work. But now, when you talk about smart homes, we're talking about 2 to 3 sensors. So when you think about a clock on your wall, a remote, TV remote, add to this dozens of other devices that need to be powered somehow. Then you think about batteries, but batteries cannot aggregate energy beyond a certain level. And then data cannot be exchanged. But when you add the perovskite module, everything gets better. The environment, you don't have to change your batteries as often. So think about the whole market, 500 billion devices and the number of batteries that you would have to replace. Think about more added value. You know, carbon footprint, just think about it. The number of batteries that wouldn't have to be replaced or used. So that's another avenue that we're pursuing. We're going to introduce more products. We will communicate them as we go. First of all, we've introduced PESL labels, for example, for the retail industry, but we're thinking about more products in the area of IoT, and in the months and years to come, we're looking at utility scale solutions, building integrated photovoltaics, so PV panels installed on roofs, and well, many, many more interesting things. Of course, we are waiting impatiently with excitement, and hopefully the agreement you have just signed will help further your goals and objectives. Magda, my last question to you. how does cloud technology support energy transformation? Because Google Cloud considers supporting the energy transformation in its strategy, right? Yes, so let me start by saying that indeed we are supporting the energy transformation that is ongoing. It's one of the most important challenges of the whole generation right now. We simply have to make sure that we'll manage to stop global warming so that we can enjoy a perspective of a good future. Google, for years, has had this ambition to be the world leader in terms of the energy mix it consumes itself as an organization. But also, we want our products to be used to transform the energy sector and to transform other companies in terms of energy. So it's not about us being the leader. The true leader is someone who helps others grow, be better, improve. So this is how we see our partnership with Columbus and Saule. There are very few champions right now in the area of energy transformation, and definitely Columbus is an ambitious champion. They're trying to grow as much as possible, and they're helping households in Poland and businesses in Poland become more active and more involved in the energy transformation agenda. And of course, cloud technologies make it easier to implement certain green solutions in a cost-effective manner. So it's very important to support the energy transformation that we're dealing with right now. And software, modern software, is very important. And today, it's based on cloud. Just like Artur said, there'll be more and more data to process, there'll be more and more points and places that generate more data, and there'll be more places where we need to store data. Without the cloud, it's impossible to process this data efficiently and effectively. And of course, this data is necessary to inform energy-related decisions. So I hope our partnership will lead to many good solutions that will help households and companies in many countries be more successful and improve from the point of view of the energy transformation. All the three companies committed to promoting the Green Transformation Charter. So my question goes to Agnieszka of Columbus. You also are the president of the Carbon Footprint Foundation, so please tell us about the Green Transformation Charter. Tell us about this project. Tell us about how you're promoting this charter together with your foundation, your company, and a number of other companies. Well, the Green Transformation Charter is a declaration, is a commitment of leaders of change in different industries in order to promote the notion of green transformation. And of course, when we're talking about green transformation, we need to be talking about technology, we need to be talking about digitalization, because the whole story is all about technology helping us mitigate climate change and, well, improve our carbon footprint. Definitely, you've mentioned Internet of Things, you've mentioned digital and cloud technologies, and the agreement that's been signed between Saule, Columbus, and Google Cloud. And I have to say that I'm very, very happy that Google Cloud is ready to be part of this big effort. This is the kind of leader that we need. Ambitious, brave leaders that have the power to inspire themselves and the rest, because this is when you are a true leader. Just like Magda said, you are a true leader when you help others, other stakeholders grow and prosper. The Green Transformation Charter is a manifesto, a declaration that was created last year in May in the city of Wrocław. And the first the initiators, the founders were Columbus, Saule, Skanska, Somfy, the city of Piastów, and a number of other leaders who care about inspiring others and who care about their responsibility for creating a new path towards a better, greener future. So we're approaching the first anniversary of this charter. So what commitments do the founders and signatories take? What have they committed themselves to do? First of all, as leaders in their respective industry, everyone is very much involved in leadership. If we are brave enough to go out there and change the world and try and make a difference, then all the stakeholders, everyone we work with, will follow us as leaders, hopefully. Because if a leader is demanding and shows a good example, then everyone will follow. So we have committed to improve the carbon footprint, to be more green as organizations, because this is what we need to work on. And of course, we want to be engaged and support science, for example, because science helps us develop all sorts of technologies that will make us better off. We cannot forget that science is actually the very driver behind what we do. So we have to create a platform, a space for all the different sectors and all the different specialties to come together and work for the common good. Google Cloud has a special strategy, Agenda 2020 and 2030, and your commitment is also part of that. So hopefully Google Cloud will join the charter. And now, if there are any questions, well, now is the time. So if you want to ask questions, please approach the microphone that's been prepared for you. If there are no questions, I would like to thank our guests. I would like to thank everyone who's been listening. And of course, let's stick around at the event. Let's